Okay, let's dive into this. We've all been there, right? You're staring at a to-do list that's a mile long, feeling like you're running on a hamster wheel. You're always busy, but you never actually seem to catch up. And it feels like a personal failure, you know? A lack of willpower. But what if the problem isn't you? What if the problem is the very system you're using?
I mean, think about it. You knock 3 things off your list, and somehow 5 new ones just magically appear. It feels like a battle you can't possibly win, and honestly, it's just draining. So, what is really going on here?
Well, this is where time management expert Mark Forster comes in with a pretty radical idea. He argues that the tools we're all using to be productive, they're fundamentally broken. The problem isn't your lack of discipline, it's the flawed system you're stuck in.
And this brings us to what you could call the productivity paradox. It's this strange reality where the harder we try to get more done, the less in control and more overwhelmed we feel. So let's break down exactly why this keeps happening.
I love this quote because it just gets right to the heart of it. We all have the same 24 hours in the day. The issue isn't a shortage of time, it's that our whole approach to managing it is wrong. And that mistake, well, it comes from a deep misunderstanding of how our own brains actually work.
See, to fix the problem, we first have to understand the real cause. And according to Forster, the daily battle we fight for productivity, it's really a fight between 2 very different parts of our brain.
So on one side, you've got your rational brain. This is your inner CEO, the planner. It's the part that makes budgets, sets big goals, and creates that beautiful, ambitious to-do list. But on the other side, you've got the reactive brain, and I want you to just think of it as a lizard. It doesn't care about your 5-year plan, it only cares about what's happening right now. Immediate threats, like a stressful deadline, or immediate rewards, like a funny video on your phone.
And here is the absolute key. When your rational planner brain says, okay, let's work on that difficult, important report, your reactive lizard brain sees a threat. It's hard, it's boring, and it just slams on the emergency brake. You know that feeling of resistance you get? That's your lizard brain winning the fight. And willpower alone is just no match for it.
So how do we fix this?
Well, traditional time management has always told us the answer is prioritizing. Just rank everything by importance. But Forster argues this is one of the biggest, most damaging myths in all of productivity.
He basically says that sorting your list by importance doesn't actually solve the real problems of being overworked or inefficient. In fact, it usually makes things a whole lot worse. Let's take a look at why.
See, prioritizing gives you this false sense of control. You tell yourself, oh, I'll just focus on the important stuff, which ironically makes you way more likely to take on even more work. And in the meantime, all those unimportant tasks just pile up and up and up, creating this massive backlog that eventually grinds your entire system to a halt.
Okay, so if prioritizing is out, what's the alternative? Well, it's a system built on a few really simple, kind of counterintuitive rules that are designed to work with your brain's psychology, not against it.
Rule number 1 is a total game changer. Stop using open-ended to-do lists. Instead, use what's called a closed list. So at the start of the day, you decide what you're going to do, you draw a line under it, and that's it. Nothing, and I mean nothing, new gets added. This simple trick transforms your work from this infinite ocean of tasks into a small, conquerable island. And the psychological difference here is absolutely huge. An open list is demotivating because it never ever ends. But a closed list? That's motivating because you can actually finish it. It gives your brain a clear finish line, which totally reduces that resistance and makes the work feel so much more achievable.
All right, rule number 2. You have to starve your reactive lizard brain of its favorite food, which is randomness. Unexpected emails, those quick questions from coworkers. These are the interruptions that completely derail your focus. The goal isn't to eliminate them completely. That's impossible. But it is to build a system that shields you from their constant attack.
And finally, rule number 3. Embrace the little and often principle. Trying to tackle some huge task in one go is a massive threat to your lizard brain. But working on it for just a few minutes, that feels easy. This method not only helps you bypass procrastination, but it's also how our brains learn best, in short bursts of focus. Plus, your subconscious keeps working on the problem in the background, which often leads to way better ideas.
Okay, so those are the principles. But how do we turn them into a practical system we can use every single day? Here are a couple of really simple methods you can start using pretty much immediately.
So the first one is the core do-it-tomorrow system. It sounds radical, but it's so simple. First, you take all your current overdue work and you put it in a backlog folder. Just get it out of sight. Then, today, all you do is collect new tasks as they come in. Don't act on them. This collection of tasks becomes tomorrow's closed list. The only things you do today are genuinely urgent, hair-on-fire tasks that absolutely cannot wait. It is such a powerful way to break that cycle of always feeling behind.
An alternative is the rolling 5 list. You start with just 5 tasks. You work on them in order. But here's the key. You don't have to finish a task. Just work on it for a little bit, cross it off, and if it's not done, you just rewrite it at the bottom. Once your list gets down to 2 items, you add 3 more. This system keeps you moving forward in small, manageable chunks. It's that little and often principle in action.
So, the most important thing to take away from all this is to stop blaming yourself. Being productive and feeling in control isn't about having more willpower or being some kind of super disciplined person. It's about designing a better structure, a system that makes it easier to do the right thing than the wrong one.
And that really is the key takeaway, isn't it? Forget trying to overhaul your entire life overnight. Just think about applying one of these ideas. What's the one small structural change you can make to your system, starting tomorrow, to finally begin working with your brain instead of constantly fighting against it?